Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are continuing the hot take series. Now this one is a hot take regarding Breath of the Wild, and so I made Tears of the Kingdom hot takes videos. It was split up to two parts because there are a lot of comments, and this one too there's a lot of comments as well, and so I will split up this video, and I will still record this video back to back, but this video will be split up to two parts. And so the question is, what are your hot takes regarding Breath of the Wild? That's what I asked from the Reddit, and so I told them that I plan on making a video reviewing their hot takes, and we got more than enough comments to the point where we can do two parts. And so now let's start off our Breath of the Wild hot take. I had originally planned on doing this hot take video before Tears of the Kingdom, but Tears of the Kingdom has more comments than Breath of the Wild, and so I'm decided to do Tears of the Kingdom first, but now we're doing Breath of the Wild. So, absolutely love Breath of the Wild. It's one of my comfort games. My biggest beef is too many parts of the map felt too empty. Not enough variety of enemies. The Zelda franchise has a whole encyclopedia of creatures, and I feel like we only got a handful of them in different skins. TOTK added a couple, but not as many as I had expected. Breath of the Wild definitely did have some empty areas that could be used for more enemies, like more mini bosses. You know, there definitely could be more enemies and like shrines placed right there, but overall, like, I wouldn't say it's like too empty. You know, in Tears of the Kingdom the surface was like filled up almost everywhere, and so Tears of the Kingdom definitely filled up those empty spots that Breath of the Wild had, but at the same time it also created even more empty spots with the Sky Islands and the depths. And so this one, I could see that being a problem. I personally didn't mind that much because Breath of the Wild did have a lot of stuff going on, and especially with the DLC there's even more stuff, and so I don't really mind this. But I understand why you have a problem with this. Alright, been playing video games for 45 years. Alright, Breath of the Wild is by far the best video game I ever had played. Absolutely, I 100% agree. Tears of the Kingdom is great, but the gameplay and the story of Breath of the Wild are amazing. I will say, the story of Breath of the Wild is amazing. It's top tier. It's peak. You know, I love the Breath of the Wild story and the characters. Tears of the Kingdom, I'm not... like, the story and the characters are good, but it's not like as good as Breath of the Wild, because Tears of the Kingdom definitely had like missing lore to it. But like, fortunately we are getting Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, and so we will get more story from that. But Tears of the Kingdom's story is not as good as Breath of the Wild. However, I will say that the gameplay of Tears of the Kingdom is better than Breath of the Wild. So, like, the gameplay, I said this in my Tears of the Kingdom video, I really enjoy the gameplay. The Ultra Hand, you know, Ultra Hand is the Super Magnesis, not Magnesis Plus, Super Magnesis. And, you know, Recall is also kind of fun, and Infuse is amazing, and then I love Ascend as well. All of them are good. In Breath of the Wild, like, I'm not like a huge fan of Magnesis, honestly. But Stasis, Cryonis, they're good, and Remote Bombs are amazing. But yeah, like, Tears of the Kingdom had more elements to it, and you know, like, Breath of the Wild we only got the Master Cycle 0, and Tears of the Kingdom got like the Ultra Hand vehicles. And while I do like the Ultra Hand vehicles more, it would also been nice if we got Master Cycle 0, which Breath of the Wild did have, and so it's kind of like equal with that. But Tears of the Kingdom, there's like more diversity with its gameplay, to the point where, and then the fusion, all that makes Tears of the Kingdom's gameplay better than Breath of the Wild. And so I'm gonna ignore these right now, not significant. Alright, Revali. Revali is the best and most interesting and entertaining character. He's complex, young, arrogant, and yes, jealous of Link, but much kinder to everyone else. Yeah, overall, he is pretty cocky and overconfident, but at the same time, Revali, he seems to, only have problems with Link. But at the same time, and so, hold on, yeah, and so when Zelda fails in her task in one of the memories, he does feel bad for her. Not as secure as himself as he acts, and once, yeah, he definitely cares for people. In Age of Calamity DLC, we get to see cutscene, Revali, he did enjoy being with Tulin, and he did show care to him as well. And so, yeah, Revali, he does have problems with Link, but during the Divine Beast Wild Meadow battle, the Windblight Ganon battle, you do see that Revali, he does support Link. And so, he's jealous of Link, but I do believe that he also supports Link. A lot of people say that Revali is the worst character, the least favorite champion, and they wish if he never comes back. I completely disagree. This hot take right here, I agree a lot. 100%. Revali, he's my favorite champion, and it's primarily because of his personality, and yeah, that's what makes him interesting. Like the voice acting, it seems to be widely disliked. Yeah, I actually do like the voice acting. Voice acting's good. The weapon breaking system was an interesting idea and it pushes me to use a variety of weapons. I can't say I love it, but I learned to appreciate it. If I have the choice to play without it, I don't think I would. Yeah, the weapon breaking system is really good. I mean, as I said in my Tears of the Kingdom, at the end of the video, I did share my hot take. And my hot take was that the Master Sword breaking is fine, because that, gives player an opportunity to equip other weapons and use them. It gives them a purpose. And so, this one, yeah, I do agree with this one. Yeah, overall, I agree with this entire hot take. Mayshell, I agree with your hot take, 100%. The open tutorial zone is the most disrespectful experience I've endured in all gaming history. The old man is a ringing ass slider that gets off on jerking you around before finally giving you a glider and having the audacity to ask for help saving the kingdom. Amazingly fun game though. Okay, when I first played Breath of the Wild, Breath of the Wild, that is the first Zelda game I played, and that game I played without spoilers, and that game is the reason why I got into Zelda. And that's why I started off my YouTube channel with the top 10 shrine rankings, because Breath of the Wild is my favorite game of all time. And so, the tutorial though, I was completely lost. I genuinely spent couple weeks, okay, maybe not a couple weeks, 10 days, though, 10 days, not exaggerating, 10 days in the Great Plateau. I was so lost. I mean, I only played 2 hours a day. I was in 6th grade back then when I played Breath of the Wild. Not 6th grade, my 6th grade was over, and it was the summer I played Breath of the Wild, and that was the second game I played. First was Mario Odyssey, then Breath of the Wild, and Breath of the Wild, it took me 10 days to get to that point, and I was super lost in the Great Plateaus. But I do know, I did manage to get through, and the Great Plateau, it was actually really fun for a blind playthrough. It was a really amazing tutorial, and it's open world. Usually I feel I do want to see some linearity, some linear structure, but Breath of the Wild, I do like the fact that it's open world. You could do like any shrines in any order. It's a good thing they did it. And so, I will say that the open world opening tutorial zone is a really good one. And Great Plateau 2, it's pretty like decent in size. And so, yeah, I kind of disagree with this hot take. But you're exaggerating as well. I mean, the old man, you know, he did like gaslight the players a lot, and so. Alright. When you open a chest with full inventory, it should immediately ask what item you want to switch it with, along with an option to leave it alone. Yeah, this is not a hot take at all. Like, this is like a suggestion. Alright, this is a suggestion. They did this in Tears of the Kingdom. You know, it would have been nice if the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild included this feature, like included like different features like from Tears of the Kingdom. You know, they don't have to add the skydiving mechanic, but they should have added like some minor stuff like this one, you know, chest inventory, and then the bullet time too. It should have worked similarly to Tears of the Kingdoms. The bullet time, and then the waterfalls, you know, like moving sideways with the Zora armor, you know, stuff like that, you know. Like the minor stuff, they should have like kind of made small changes to give Breath of the Wild like a different experience. Because Zelda Notes is a good, I don't have a Switch 2 yet. I did not play the Switch 2 edition of Breath of the Wild with Zelda Notes, so I can't really say about Zelda Notes, but I'm feeling like Zelda Notes isn't like enough, because it does add voice dialogues, but I don't think it's like enough. You know, I do want to talk about this in a separate day, like what Zelda Switch 2 editions missed, like they missed opportunities for those. But this one, it's not a hot take, but it definitely should have been in Breath of the Wild, especially for the Switch 2 edition. Game mechanics, A tier. Scenery, 8+. Soundtrack, A+. I disagree with this. Soundtrack, I will give it an A+. And scenery, the Switch 2 edition would definitely get like yeah, this one is like an A+, but the Switch 2 edition, based on what I saw, is an S tier. Game mechanics, yeah, this is like an A tier. While Tears of the Kingdom, I would give it like an S tier for in terms of game mechanics. And the story of this game is S+. Alright, the Tears of the Kingdom story is S-, this not S-, A+, and this is S+. This soundtrack and the story. Soundtrack, I'll give it an S, not an S+. But yeah, voice acting, I disagree with this one. As I said before, voice acting was a cool feature. I love voice acting's inclusion, and so yeah. Always switch to Japanese. Alright, my wife commented a few times Zelda sounds like a oh my god. The voice acting bothers me so. I hate. Honestly, okay. The British people, you know, like the fake British accents, they don't like bother me that much. But this one, though, I do agree. They should have like hired actual British people, so that like it would sound more natural, you know. I mean, like British accent, I'm not gonna do a British accent, but yeah, this one they definitely should have hired some actual British people. Like in the next generation of Zelda, if they're gonna continue voice acting, then hopefully like the new Zelda voice actor would actually be a British woman, you know, because then like the European actors, they would like it will sound more natural, you know, and it would like fit for that character. And so yeah, this one I do agree with actually, but I do not mind the fake British accents. I still think they're good. The next weapon in your inventory should appear when in your hand when your weapon breaks. So, okay. It's. First of all, I wouldn't really call this a hot take. It's more so like a suggestion. But now. This. Oh, God damn it. Splanks, So, the thing is that, like, the next weapon in your inventory should appear. Like, here's the thing, though. Like, you can't organize the weapons in which order you want to use them. You want to select a certain weapon. But at the same time, though, this would still work, because if you, by luck, get a weapon you want, then you don't have to go back to your inventory. Whereas, like, like, if you don't have any weapons, then, like, you can just go and select whatever weapon you want. So, I'm mixed with this. I think it's okay if they include this, but I don't mind it that much. Alright, giant leaf. Okay. Ugh, god damn it. Link making you question your sexuality is a canon event. Okay. I mean, sure, if you believe it's a canon event. I mean, I don't care about canon events that much. Actually, I do care about canon events, but that's only in terms of, like, the story and the lore. That's what I care about. But, like, other stuff, don't really care that much. There's way too much open space with nothing to do. I love the atmosphere, don't get me wrong, but there's a huge stretches of empty wilderness that gets tedious to cross through. I don't like using fast travel in video games, but sometimes it's just like dawn. What's the point without it? I mean, I did comment on this. There are definitely like some empty spaces in the game, but at the same time, like, you know, most of it's filled up. You have a lot of good stuff to do, and then the master mode is a great replayability. And you know, the empty wilderness, I mean, I wish if they did add, like, fill up those empty spots. I'm sure Tears of the Kingdom did do that, but like, yeah, I mean, the empty wilderness, I mean, it doesn't like bug me that much, but it would kind of like make me wish if there's like something to do there. Well, at least they filled the surface, but then they added a lot of empty space in the sky and the depths. Breath of the Wild is an excellent game, but in comparison with the previous Zelda games, if you had a storyline to follow, you couldn't reach certain points without certain items. With Breath of the Wild, you can go to Impa after the Great Return. After that, it's up to you. You could go to the castle or not. You can go to the Titans, which is recommended by Impa. Only shrines and side quests, and Impa expressed deeply that Link should hurry up. Okay, Tears of the Kingdom, you know, I do like open world games to have some linear structure, and overall Tears of the Kingdom, you know, the gameplay, you know, there's definitely like some linear structure with the missions, and so, you know, like, the missions, I do kind of prefer, like, the linear structures, but at the same time, though, I do also like the idea of going, like, directly fighting Calamity Ganon immediately after you got out of the Raid Plateau, and so, I'm kind of mixed on this. I mean, I do like this, though, the fact that, like, you can go directly to the Hyrule Castle. It's like a good idea, but at the same time, you know, they should have like made us, like, if we do like Divine Beasts, you know, there should have been like certain additional quests for us to do in order to do the Divine Beasts. You know, like, if we do a Divine Beast, then we should only do that Divine Beast and not move on to the next Divine Beast, and that would be nice. I mean, like, I want to see some more linear structure, and so, yeah, but I do also like the idea of going straight to Calamity again, so I'm kind of mixed with this, but Tears of the Kingdom does do it better, in my opinion. balancing was balancing was shit, especially during early game. Even bokoblins can one-shot Link, meaning that for several hours are running away and hunting shrines just to be able to survive one hit. The compounds are already incredibly short story and means that you are probably overpowered for the bosses when you actually approach. Balance. Now, at the early game, I did have some trouble with the bokoblins. But the bokoblins, they're just like minor enemies, and they're also pretty weak too. And I do want to bring up like one mechanic during my part 2 of this. So overall, I would say Master Mode is more balanced. But even at the late game, it does get it easier. Even though the monsters, they can still regenerate health if you don't hit them for a long time. And so I do believe this is like the case. But balancing, yeah, it's pretty imbalanced for the most part. But if you for Divine Beast, they do scale up, the monsters, they scale, and so later on you'll see harder enemies, so it does try to balance the game. And so I wouldn't say balancing is shit, but I would say that for the most part, there are definitely some parts that are kind of imbalanced. And now, the last hot take for now is, I don't mind the weapons breaking. Yeah, neither do I. I mean, the weapons breaking does give us, a purpose to use multiple weapons. And so, it gives us a purpose to use multiple weapons, and so, I 100% agree with this one. So, yeah, that's gonna do it for today's video. This is part 1. I am recording part 1 and part 2 back to back, and so, I'll definitely upload part 2 the next day after today's video. If you like this video, then hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And with that said, I'll see you next time. Take care, everyone.